even though it was an anticipated part of the short ceremony. The registrar forced a cough. "If you can both just sign here and here." He didn't want to hurry them, but he was aware that he was running out of time. This particular couple had been squeezed in at the last minute. He looked behind the newlyweds and gave the nod to the two witnesses standing quietly to the side. They were both registry office clerical workers, and this was not the first time they had been called upon to be witnesses of late. In fact, they had been called upon dozens of times in the last year, as so many special licenses had been granted since the declaration of war. Rosie put her small bouquet of white pansies down on the wooden table. Peter had insisted his wife at least have a wedding bouquet, even if it was just a modest one. After all, she had not even had the chance to go and buy herself a proper wedding dress. Stepping forward to add their own signatures to the pastel green marriage certificate, both witnesses noted with surprise the descriptions of police officer and welder under the column headed rank or profession. Giving the ink a moment to dry, the registrar handed one of the certificates to the groom. Peter folded it up and put it in the inside pocket of the black woolen suit he always wore for work, and which had been pressed for this very special occasion. After Peter and Rosie thanked and shook hands with the man who had just made them husband and wife, Rosie picked up the wedding bouquet and walked out of the small room and into the noisy corridor. Passing a couple dressed in khaki uniforms, his standard army and hers that of the Auxiliary Territorial Service, Peter and Rosie smiled at them. "Congratulations!" The young man and woman spoke at the same time and laughed, their faces full of excitement and anticipation. Rosie noticed the bride was empty-handed and gave her the small bouquet of pansies. "Are you sure?" The woman's face lit up. Rosie nodded. "Oh, thank you! Thank you, they're gorgeous!" Rosie stepped forward and spoke to the woman quietly so that no one else could hear. As she spoke, the young woman clutched Rosie's hand. There were tears in both their eyes. Just then, the registrar stuck his head around the panelled door to the registry office and beckoned the couple in. "That's one of the many reasons why I love you so much," Peter said, grabbing both their coats from the wooden stand by the main entrance and helping his new wife into her grey mac. As soon as they stepped out into the bitingly cold but fresh afternoon, the two witnesses, who had slipped away unnoticed, suddenly appeared by their side. "Congratulations!" they shouted, showering the newlyweds with confetti. Rosie jumped with unexpected delight and was taken aback when the young woman gave her a hug and whispered, "May it be long and happy." Hurrying down the steps and onto the wide stretch of gravel driveway, Peter stopped and pulled Rosie close to him. As there was no one else about, they stood and kissed. "I love you, Mrs. Miller." Peter pulled back a fraction to look at the woman he had fallen in love with the moment he had first clapped eyes on her. Rosie stepped closer and told him, "I love you too, Mr. Miller." She didn't think she had ever felt so happy, so special, and yet also so heavy-hearted in her entire life. Holding hands, Rosie and Peter turned right into a side street, then right again onto a narrow pavement that led to the centre of town. Seeing they were covered in confetti, passing pedestrians smiled and made way for them. As they neared the main entrance of their hotel, they passed a newspaper stand with the words "Liverpool Blitz" written in large capital letters. Peter put his arm around Rosie's shoulders and squeezed her gently to him. "So, can I have the pleasure of taking my new wife out for a celebratory meal?" he asked, hoping to draw her attention away from the headlines. He was determined that today would be a happy, carefree day. It was just going to be about the two of them. There was to be no war talk. "Your new wife would love to be taken out for a celebratory meal."